What's going on, guys? In this video, we will learn how to play and open and close a portable oxygen tank, which will be a little different from refilling your onboard larger tank. It's kind of like the height of myself if I was standing, and it's found on the side door of an ambulance. And you would use a cascading system to refill those larger tanks. Obviously, we don't have these in the classroom, so we won't be going over that today. Just portable, all right? So the pieces that you will need will be the portable tank, a regulator to regulate how much oxygen will be coming out of the tank, all right? And then a key. A key to open and close the tank, okay? So as you see right here, you see these two prongs right here, all right? These two prongs, the analogy I use is teeth going into gums. And these are the teeth, all right? And the gums will be found on the O2 tank. All right. So as you see the two holes right there? Those are the gums, right? These right here. These are the gums. And if I rotate the bottle, you don't see gums on any other side of this O2 tank, all right? It is only on this one side. So there's only one way the regulator can fit onto the tank. And it probably takes 20 tries for our students to get it right, you know? It doesn't happen automatically. So go ahead and fit the regulator on the tank, and as you're going down, it should kind of slide. As you see, like on the tight screen, it's going to slide, and then it goes into it. And then you fasten this part, and sometimes when you fasten it, students might kind of do it off center, and it could be crooked. So oftentimes, like, students might do this, and thinking that that is right. It's okay, you just don't know what is right first off. So when they go to crack the tank open to see how full it is, you're gonna hear this loud whooshing sound. It's because it's not connected, right? So we're leaking oxygen out right now. So all you do, the simple thing, anytime that happens, is to close the tank up at the very top. You'll be fine, okay? Take it easy. So you close the tank, it's no longer leaking. You can undo this safely, and then you get it so it's fastened correctly. And after doing this, 100 times, you can see that it's sitting on parallel or perpendicular to the tank, right? It's perpendicular to the tank. And if you see right now, the regulator is empty, right? It's because there's no pressure in here. And so when you take the key and you open it, I want you to pay attention to the arrow right here, all right? That arrow right there. When I open the tank. I don't know if you saw, it went up, right? So right now it is at about 13 to 1400. It's not bad. We want to be between 1500 to 2000 PSI. And this is one of the things that checking out an O2 tank, how full it is one of the things that you can assist your EMT crew with on your ride-alongs. And every company has kind of their par levels of what they deem full, but typically anything under 800, I wouldn't want to start a day without that, all right, without full tanks. Typically you'll have 3, sometimes even 4 portable oxygen tanks. That's pretty much it, right? Here are some things that might happen when you're done, and certain partners have different rules about when they close it off. Some people like to close it off after every call, and some people close it off when it's empty, right? But let's say you're done with the regulator, and well, actually, let's say we were using it actually, right? Let's use the tank. You see this blue wheel right here. This can dictate, as you hear it, how much oxygen is now coming out. You can regulate it out of here, right? And so if we use different devices like a non-rebreather, which is at 15 liters per minute, there's a hole right here that you want to plug. So let's crank this to 15, and then plug the hole, and then you see the bag inflate. Once it's full, let go. You could pop it, let go, and then apply it to the patient's face. That's it. That's the non-rebreather. When you're done, shut off the tank. Let's say you wanted to use a nasal cannula. These two prongs right there. Go ahead and use the nasal cannula. You attach this. The range is 2 to 6 liters per minute of oxygen. So let's crank this to 2, and you apply this to a patient's nose. Let's say you wanted to use, and with the nasal cannula, guys, I remember having a patient that had a nosebleed, and they had a nasal cannula going at 10 liters per minute. And I know we have high flow nasal cannulas these days, but they typically also have a humidifier, all right? Or a BVM, one of the first devices that we learn how to use during CPR. Common misconception is that a lot of people put the tubing right here rather than right here. I want to clarify that this part right here is actually where you can attach a syringe, right? So this is considered a lure lock, where you could deliver medication, something that we don't do anymore. So don't ever bother with this red cap. The tubing goes on the tail end of the bag valve mask device, because this is what's going to happen when you do, all right? So we inflate this to 15, turn the regulator on to 15, and you're going to see this reservoir bag is inflating. So then every time you squeeze the bag, you're delivering 100% oxygen through this BVM. And then we got a neb kit as well. I'll make a separate video for that. But you can insert the tubing from the bottom, and then you just connect this at 6 liters per minute, and now you can get nebulized albuterol. All right, I'll make a separate video for that as well. All right, linked right there. Okay, so let's say we delivered our oxygen and we're done. You're ready to close. You know, this shouldn't have been sitting up here this whole entire time, but you're ready to close the tank. So let's close the tank, because if you don't do this and you just take this off, this is considered an open tank. So if you just take the regulator off, now we got a bunch of oxygen leaking out of here, right? So make sure you close this tank. So righty-tighty, right? And sometimes, guys, I have people go in the wrong direction, so much so that they break the holes on it. They make these holes bigger, thinking that they're going in the right direction, right? So righty-tighty, it's closed. Now, there's a couple things that you can do from here, all right? If you see on the front and back, these are quick connect locations where certain devices like this right here, certain devices like CPAP and a ventilator can connect to this, and you can, it's a quick connect, and you have free-flowing oxygen to your device. What we're trying to do to make it easy for us to undo this part is depressurize this regulator. As you see, inside the regulator, there's still oxygen in here, all right? There's still oxygen in here. So you can push the quick connect button up, and as you hear it, you're decompressing the remaining or residual oxygen in here, and now it's going to make undoing this a lot easier. Voila, right? The other way that you could have gone is, let's say it was an open tank, you delivered your oxygen, and you're done. So you close the tank. You did not do this, which is okay, you don't have to. It's just going to make this part a little tighter to undo, all right? So go ahead and undo that, and then now is when you'll hear the hissing sound. And that's okay too, right? There's just residual pressure inside this regulator space. Now, one common issue that I've faced and many EMTs have faced is that when you put this on and you ensure that the regulator is closed, it's at off, and you hear a leak, a common thing is, if you can see it inside here, right here, is there's an O-ring, a gold ring with a rubber seal, right? And if that's missing or the black rubber seal has been worn, then you will hear a leak, all right? So ensure that there is an O-ring right here, right, inside of the regulator, and that it's working. All right. That is it. That was a little teaser into some of the oxygen delivery devices that we're going to go over. We're actually going over it this week in class, and how to open and close an O2 tank. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the area below. I'll see you in the next one.